Poco has always targeted a young audience for the majority of its smartphones, and the Poco X5 Pro 5G is no exception. The Poco X3 Pro followed in the footsteps of the Poco F1 as a performance-centric smartphone a few years ago, but in 2022, the X4 Pro 5G was somehow packaged to be a device for the masses. If you ask us, that's a significant shift in direction. However, Poco has gone all New Year Numi with the X5 Pro 5G, aimed at people who spend the majority of their time watching content on mobile devices. While this appears to be just one of their selling points, the company's DNA is still imprinted with performance. To that end, the Poco X5 Pro 5G is powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 778G processor, which can also be found in the iQOO Z6 Pro, Realme GT Master Edition, and Moto Edge 20. However, based on its pricing, the Poco X5 Pro 5G can also be compared to the Realme 10 Pro Plus and the Redmi Note 12 Pro. The Poco X5 Pro 5G's design has not been significantly altered. We wouldn't blame you if you couldn't tell the difference between the older and newer devices. However, some changes have been made. To begin, the materials used to construct the Poco X5 Pro 5G differ significantly from those used to construct its predecessor. This time, the company has gone with an all-plastic construction, which helps to significantly reduce weight. While it does not have the same premium feel, we prefer it for the safety of our precious wrists. The X5 Pro 5G, weighing 181 grams and measuring 7.9 mm on the calipers, is one of the thinnest Poco devices ever, making its predecessor appear obese. The weight is well balanced across the body. The back panel has a coarse texture that repels fingerprints and smudge marks. We think it's a little boxy. Nonetheless, it's a pleasure to hold. A shiny texture surrounds the camera island, which is accompanied by a Poco logo. Its camera module protrudes, causing the phone to wobble when placed flat. The Poco X5 Pro 5G is available in 3 different colors: Astral Black, Horizon Blue, and Poco Yellow. The volume rockers and a power button, which also serves as a fingerprint sensor, are located on the device's right side. A speaker grill, a primary microphone, a SIM tray, and a USB Type-C port are located on the bottom. The phone's left side is empty, while the top has a secondary microphone and speaker, an IR blaster, and the much-appreciated 3.5mm headphone jack. It's encouraging to see that the headphone jack is still present in phones in this price range. Despite a couple of drops from the waist, the phone received no scuff marks. If you're as clumsy as we are, there's a TPU case included in the box for mishaps. Overall, the device's build quality is good, and they were able to save money on materials because a glass body is obviously more expensive. The Poco X5 Pro 5G features a 6.67-inch AMOLED display, which the company refers to as an Xfinity display. It has a 120Hz refresh rate and a 240Hz touch sampling rate, which should help gamers. The display has thin bezels all around and is much slimmer around the corners than the previous version, according to the company. Corning Gorilla Glass 5 protects the front from scratches. Poco has a set of display presets in the settings, and we usually use the standard color preset, which keeps the colors consistent and natural throughout. There's also a vivid preset that adjusts color based on the content and a saturated preset that produces vibrant colors, as the name suggests. Poco, as previously stated, is aiming for a content-hungry audience. Because of the AMOLED display, the colors pop and the blacks are deep. The display's viewing angles are also excellent. Because the device supports Widevine L1, watching movies in 1080p on Netflix and Amazon Prime Video was also no problem. Dolby Vision and HDR10+ are also supported by the Poco X5 Pro 5G. It also supports HDR content on YouTube, though we noticed choppy playback when watching videos at 2160p with HDR enabled. We had the same problem with the Poco F4 5G and Realme 10 Pro Plus 5G a few months ago. The Poco X5 Pro 5G has a decent set of stereo speakers, which is required for a satisfying content consumption experience. Although the sound can get loud and clear, the back panel rattles a little when listening to audio at maximum volume. This could be due to the materials used, which may be fine for many people but is worth noting. The Poco X5 Pro 5G supports switching between 60Hz and 120Hz, but not between the two. This is something we wish OEMs would include because it aids in battery conservation when faster refresh rates are not required. We noticed some inconsistencies in the refresh rate of the panel on the Realme 10 Pro Plus. Twitter, for example, ran at 90Hz and did not use 120Hz. This was not the case on the Poco X5 Pro 5G. The Qualcomm Snapdragon 778G powers the Poco X5 Pro 5G, a chipset that has proven its worth and can be considered an all-rounder. The Snapdragon 778G is an octa-core processor with a clock speed of up to 2.4 GHz that is based on the 6nm fabrication process. Most benchmarks show that the Snapdragon 778G outperforms the MediaTek Dimensity 1080. However, real-world application is important, and we'll get into that shortly. The Poco X5 Pro 5G comes in two sizes, 6GB RAM with 128GB storage and 8GB RAM with 256GB storage. The RAM is LPDDR4X, and the storage is UFS 2.2. It also supports memory expansion, which seems to be a feature that every OEM wants to include these days. You have the option of adding up to 5GB. The device is compatible with 7 5G bands. The phone has GPS, Bluetooth 5.1, dual 5G, and dual-band Wi-Fi connectivity. The phone runs MIUI 14, which is based on Android 12, a letdown. In comparison, the Realme 10 Pro Plus ships with Android 13 out of the box. Poco promises 2 years of Android updates and 3 years of security updates, so it will be one major Android version behind in the future. The security patches are up to date, with our unit already running the December security patch. MIUI's overall design is simple, with some typical MIUI customizations. Swiping down from the top on the left, for example, reveals notifications, whereas a swipe down on the right side provides quick access to the control center. You can, of course, change this in the settings. Aside from the fundamentals, MIUI is known for including some useful settings such as dual apps, floating windows, second space, and clear speaker, which plays a 30-second audio clip to clean the speaker of dirt and gunk. You can also use one finger to cover the primary camera and flash to measure your heart rate. Since the pandemic, we've seen many businesses implement this. However, it is typically combined with the in-display fingerprint scanner. It can be fun to show off to your friends, but we always recommend using a proper medical instrument for such purposes. The phone still includes a slew of bloatware, including Get Apps, Snapchat, Zili, Moj, and some bubble games for no apparent reason. It also includes Glance for Me, which acts as a billboard on your lock screen. Apps that are no longer required thankfully can be uninstalled. The Poco X5 Pro 5G performed admirably in our day-to-day testing. The phone easily navigates through multiple apps and handles multitasking well. We spent our days scrolling through social media apps like Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. The phone had no trouble dealing with these apps. We ran our standard stress test with Google Maps running in PIP and a YouTube Premium video playing. Some budget phones stutter when running this test, but the Poco X5 Pro 5G did not. We also did not notice any heating during this process. It has a physical fingerprint sensor that works flawlessly every time. Face unlock also works well in low-light situations. The haptic feedback was adequate but nothing spectacular. In terms of benchmarks, the Poco X5 Pro 5G scored 517,979 in our tests. To put the above figure into context, the Realme 10 Pro Plus and Redmi Note 12 Pro with MediaTek Dimensity 1080 scored 512,682 and 434,231 in their respective tests. This clearly shows that the Snapdragon 778G outperforms the Poco X5 Pro 5G. However, we discovered some issues while gaming. Before we get into that, the device scored 777 and 2826 on Geekbench 5 in single-core and multi-core tests, respectively. In our PC Mark tests, the phone received a score of 12,057. However, 3D Mark would not run on our system. Now, let's talk about our favorite topic, gaming. In medium graphics settings, Poco smartphones typically perform exceptionally well. Unfortunately, when we tested Apex Legends Mobile on the Poco X5 Pro 5G, this was not the case. We set the graphics to Ultra HD and the frame rates to high, which should produce 40 frames per second. During landing, we noticed that the frames dropped dramatically to 9 frames per second, whether in a busy drop zone or a secluded area. This was out of the ordinary. Furthermore, we experienced random frame drops to 35 frames per second and 30 frames per second in the middle of the game while simply moving around the map. Surprisingly, there was no noticeable lag or stutter when engaging in squad fights. Apex Legends Mobile should be optimized for the device. On low graphics settings and max frame rates, Call of Duty Mobile performed admirably without being a chore. Poco also includes Game Turbo, which allows you to block calls and notifications, record screens, and boost performance for die-hard gamers. The battery on the Poco X5 Pro 5G dropped by 5% after a 15-minute gaming session. During our testing period, we did not notice any heating. The Poco X5 Pro 5G has 3 rear cameras, a 108-megapixel ISOCELL HM2 primary camera with an f1.9 aperture, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide-angle camera with an f2.2 aperture, and a 2-megapixel macro camera with an f2.4 aperture. The front-facing camera on the Poco X5 Pro 5G is a 16-megapixel f2.45 shooter for selfies. The camera UI is typical MIUI, with all of the necessary settings and modes at a glance. It also includes a slew of filters, AI, and HDR toggles. In terms of photos taken in daylight, the Poco X5 Pro 5G captures 12-megapixel binned images with decent detail, with the option to capture 108-megapixel images in their entirety. The colors were vibrant, and the photos had a lot of contrast. We also liked how the shadows on objects backed up against the sun were recovered. The device's post-processing tends to favor vibrant colors like yellow and red. However, we were concerned about how poorly the cloud shadows recovered in the sky. Turning on HDR helped, but it also brought in a lot of noise. Photos taken in 108-megapixel mode were detailed, and the colors were also good. The Poco X5 Pro 5G is powered by a 5000 mAh battery and comes with a 67-watt fast charger. This appears to be a combination tailor-made for this price range. With normal usage, the phone lasted us an entire day and a little. Our daily activities typically included camera work, scrolling through social media apps, and occasionally watching Netflix. We also spent the majority of our time on the device playing games. The bundled 67-watt charger charges the Poco X5 Pro 5G to 86% in 30 minutes, and the phone takes another 20 minutes to fully charge. With a starting price of €299.90, the Poco X5 Pro 5G appears to be a pretty good deal. It may not have the most unusual design, but it accomplishes the task in a slim and lightweight manner. The available color options on the market are also quite fashionable. Aside from that, the company was counting on its display to provide a good overall experience, which it does. The 108-megapixel camera, 5000 mAh battery, Snapdragon 778G, and fast charging all contribute to the overall value. However, the performance of Apex Legends Mobile, irregularities in dynamic range, and an average ultra-wide-angle camera were a letdown. The Poco X5 Pro 5G also lacks OIS, which is found on the Redmi Note 12 Pro. Nonetheless, if you're looking for a device that can easily handle daily tasks while also taking good photos, the Poco X5 Pro 5G should end up in your cart. There's no need to upgrade if you already own a Poco X4 Pro 5G. In terms of alternatives, the Realme 9 5G Speed Edition is a device that can compete with the Poco X5 Pro 5G and costs the same. Aside from that, the previously mentioned Redmi Note 12 Pro and Realme 10 Pro Plus are both viable options with their own set of advantages and disadvantages.